TJ Holmes smiles as he is sighted out and about in New York City for the first time since it was discovered that he had an affair with a 24-year-old intern 13 years his junior, with whom he had sex in his office. TJ Holmes was beaming broadly as he clutched two cell phones to his ear in Manhattan on Friday, the day after his affair with a 24-year-old intern was revealed. Holmes, whose future on Good Morning America hangs in the balance after news of his relationship with co-host Amy Robach emerged, grinned as he strolled through the streets. Wearing an Atlanta Braves cap, he clutched one phone to his ear and held a second one in the palm of his hand. Holmes is currently embroiled in a firestorm, with his wife of 12 years divorcing him in the midst of the revelations. On Thursday, a reliable source told DailyMail.com about his affair with Jasmine Pettaway, who was 24 at the time. The romance occurred in 2015, after Holmes had been married for 5 years to his now ex-wife, Marilee Fiebig. He was a predator who took full advantage of his position, and he was reckless, claimed a source who knew Pettaway well at the time. It was Jasmine's first professional television role, and it meant a lot to her. She was looking for a mentor and contacted numerous people. TJ was receptive, but he blatantly abused his position of trust. At the time, Pettaway and Holmes, who had joined the ABC News team in September 2014, were often on the same shifts. The source said, Holmes was someone who would grab drinks and he and Jasmine started doing that. You must remember he was a correspondent at the time and he's taking time to speak to her about work or whatever. I don't know how long that had been going on before it got sexual, but I do know the first time it did was in his office, and he was about to go on air in a couple of hours. The source said Pettaway later told them that Holmes called her into his office, where she saw he was drinking liquor. There's like an atmosphere shift, almost an expectation that something's going to happen, and it did. They had sex and I know she was confused afterwards as to what it meant. That kind of did that just really happen feeling. I mean, that's pretty risky behavior on his part. It was, the source said, part of a pattern of incredibly reckless conduct on Holmes's part. On one occasion the source said the pair were having drinks together when he got handsy in a very public place and way. They said, he just didn't seem to care. You know, he's wearing his ring. He has a wife, he has a relatively high-profile job, but he wasn't acting like he was concerned about either of those things at the time. Holmes's rep did not respond to DailyMail.com's request for comment. Pettaway declined to comment. Pettaway and Holmes's sexual relationship continued for several months, and included him visiting her at her apartment before, the source said, it fizzled out. Pettaway went on to become a segment producer for GMA and spent 2 years with ABC in New York before returning to her hometown of Cleveland in late 2016 to join the network's local station. She is now an award-winning casting producer for ITV America, married, and the founder of Lemon Love, a digital women's lifestyle company. In an online interview with Voyage Ohio in 2021, she discussed her decision to leave New York, citing a combination of insecurity, loneliness, and some naivete. She also stated that ABC's toxic work climate had seriously hurt my self-esteem. According to various reports, Pettaway was not the only female subordinate on whom Holmes made unwelcome advances. A young network intern described herself as stressed and freaked out by his unwanted advances. That's who he was, says the insider. Was he ever going to be professional with Jasmine, or would he merely spoil the fruits he'd been given? I'm not sure. I just knew he wanted to be the guy with the swagger. He didn't appear to mind that he was married or that he would jeopardize his work. At the time, she was married to movie producer Garrett Barron, whose credits include Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Sword of Destiny. She was also a close friend to Robach. In fact, it was Robach who helped Holmes salvage his marriage after wife Marilee Fiebig, 44, learned of his infidelity with Singh. But neither Robach's nor Holmes's 12-year marriages could survive the revelation of their affair, which began as a friendship fizzing with obvious chemistry and crossed the line last year. Holmes's wife filed for divorce shortly after Christmas. Robach's divorce from her husband, former Melrose Place actor Andrew Shue, 55, is reportedly all but finalized. Professionally, their futures still hang in the balance. With ABC executives yet to make a final decision, the official line remains that the co-hosts turned lovers will be out of their seats at the morning show's lunchtime slot indefinitely.